It starts with Lend Lease. We're a little bit different than a typical merchant build developer. We pride ourselves on creating the best places. It's really our mission. And in the case of Clippership Wharf, it's a site that had lain fallow for 30 years. It's a really critical part of the East Boston waterfront. It's got all these great attributes, the shoreline, the T, connections to the neighborhood, and making the most of that was really the goal. So we looked at what could we do for a living shoreline, how could we activate the Harborwalk, what kind of recreation could we introduce. And I think the main thing was we wanted to create a waterfront experience that was different, looked different, felt different than any other one in Boston, and that meant not just viewing the harbor behind bollards and chains. So that was kind of the grounding principle. It's a post-industrial contaminated site that cleaning up the site and the aspiration for resilience really drove the site solution. And it started with raising up the ground plane. How do we create an environment where we are protecting the site, protecting the community, making the residents feel safe, but also creating a unique waterfront experience. And it's raising the site is one thing, and there are good reasons to do it, partly environmental, partly resilience. But once you make that commitment, really defining what the parts and pieces are that allow you to implement that solution is the hard part, because you're elevating way above the surrounding sidewalks and streets, so you need really creative devices for mediating the transitions from the street to the central courtyard, which kind of defines Clippership. And then once you figure out those devices, it's really creating a public realm that invites people to participate in what you've created. I think that's really the key. We're a private site, but we're very public. So I think the key to this team was the ability to push through a lot of the difficulties with managing through the regulations and maintaining the aspirations. Creating a place that feels private and welcoming for residents, but also invites the public in is a delicate balance. And so there are a lot of features on our site that are meant to create a welcoming environment for the residents, but also allow people who come from the community to occupy the site, hang out, watch sunsets, dock their boat. We have a lot of elements of our project that make it seem like a very public-facing project, and it is. The lasting legacy of the project will be how it pushed the dialogue around resiliency in Boston, because we wanted to be much more aggressive about tackling climate change and sea level rise. So that, the fact that we got it built, the fact that we figured out the devices that allowed it to integrate seamlessly with the surrounding roads and the community, and that people want to be there, it's become a real standout for resilient design and development nationwide. And that will be the legacy, that Clippership kind of sponsored this new dialogue around what resiliency means, what standard developers are held to, and how to create real public access at the waterfront.